Welcome back to Some Offense Intended. I am Jeremy Robinson.
I am Mike Mick.
And this is take 3 because
Technical difficulties.
this webcam that worked for the last 2 weeks wants to keep showing a picture of a fucking tree instead of us.
Yeah.
So hopefully this one actually works. And,
Hopefully we don't have to start over.
stays recording. So again, for the third time, first for you, brought a table in, redoing a couple things. There's going to be some microphone bleed over. I'm going to do my best to not talk loud enough to bleed into Mike's mic, because it'll definitely happen.
Yeah, it'll definitely happen.
Um,
But we are reworking the studio, trying to make it better.
we ordered some desk microphone mounts so that we don't have to have a mini table hidden back here to hold the microphones.
Yeah.
And, yeah, working on improving. So,
Trying to bring the best product possible.
last week, we didn't talk about the big game. Actually, I didn't say it this
Yes,
time.
you didn't say it this time.
That's probably why it kept
Yeah.
going trees. It was like, nope, trademark, pull him.
Yep.
So this time it should work. But yeah, so I went to a big game party at a buddy's house on Sunday and was recovering most of Monday. So I did not feel 100%.
Yeah.
As I'm sure you could tell, and everybody else probably can.
I still feel like we had a good episode last week, though.
I'm glad.
But I did want to mention the game, because we didn't even talk about the game last week.
No.
And there was a lot of people blaming the refs for Kansas City winning, which, yes, I will admit, I am a Kansas City fan, so I am biased. But, the Eagles had opportunities. They didn't have to fumble it and let it return for a touchdown.
Yeah.
There was no ref knocking the ball out of his hand.
And that fumble was wild. Like, it was like if you go to put your keys in your pocket, but you don't have pockets.
Yeah. I know there were some Eagles fans out there saying, that really hurts.
Yeah.
Because it was Jalen Hurts, who.
Yeah.
But then there was also the big punt return. Then they also let the guy who, had a hurt leg run for a lot of yards to get him in a field goal range in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, they had opportunities. I guess there was a holding call, but that is part of the rules. You can't say, oh, well, it's the big game and it's almost the end. You can't call the penalty. Because if that's the case, then everybody should hold. Screw it.
Yeah, like there's been clips that I've seen of like, oh, well, they didn't call it on this one, they didn't call it on this one. They can't see fucking everything. They're going to miss calls.
Well, it's said that there could be a holding call on just about every play.
Yeah.
But he actually held him twice
Well,
on the same play.
So, new to this, third time I've said it because we've had to fucking record this several times.
Yeah.
It's one of the first times that I've seen like equality bullshit from the refs.
Yeah.
Of like they call something, I'm like, really? That's how you're gonna play this?
Yeah.
And then like 10 minutes later they called something that's stupid against the other team. So like I was impressed that it wasn't extremely one-sided.
Yeah.
From the refs.
Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna suck, at least do it suck equally,
Yeah.
But I'd watched the video last night. Bill Burr was saying basically the same thing I said, and I'd been saying it since the game, and I just saw him saying it, and and he didn't even want the Chiefs to win. He was actually wanting the Eagles to win. He'd prefer, of course, the Patriots because he's a Patriots fan, but
yeah, he probably said it with a lot more vigor and oomph, though.
Oh yeah,
a very eccentric, angry man.
I like Bill Burr a lot, though.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I know how you feel about there's microphone bleed over that I was talking about. So we'll work on it. I know how you feel about the commercials. Who cares?
Yeah.
This year's super big game commercials caught it.
Yes.
This year's commercials were extremely disappointing.
Yes.
Normally there's like,
of course, I didn't really see them, but
there's a certain bar set for like clever humor, like everything.
Yeah.
And it missed so hard.
Yeah, well, they have to not be offensive, and it's kind of hard to not be offensive because people get offended by everything.
Yeah. So like there was a couple that made me chuckle. I can't remember any of them to a full extent. Like I remember there was the clam bake M&Ms because that was atrocious.
Yeah, that would just be gross.
That is an
Like
awful.
I said, they actually had that before the Super Bowl. They talked about that before. the Super Bowl commercial. So that's not even a new thing.
I'm glad, and I'm glad it's not a thing.
Oh yeah,
Because that's awful.
yeah. That's just atrocious.
They did pick a fitting person for that commercial.
Yes.
Because she is super annoying. I cannot stand her. You said her name was like Maya Angelou?
It's Maya. And she had a commercial where it was showing that as being the new name for M&M's instead of M&M's.
No.
Yeah.
Nope, sorry about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to find the M&M's because I'm looking for M&M's. I'm not looking for somebody's name.
Yeah, no, not going to happen.
But I always say about commercials, like people get excited about the commercials. And I'm like, yeah, but every other day of the year, you're paying extra for your streaming services to not have to watch commercials. And then you get excited to watch commercials for the big game. I almost said it.
Well, that's because it's, like I said, there's been a bar set
Yeah.
for a long time of, like, these are the best of the best. And then you, like, the week after, you rate the commercials to put it on a chart of, like, which one's the best.
Yeah, and other things will do it. Like Entertainment Tonight rates the commercials. YouTube will rate the commercials.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't even have to watch the commercials during the big game because you can actually watch them all on YouTube later.
Yeah, or before.
Yeah.
But this, like I said, this nothing of mention. Nothing worth mentioning at all.
I didn't even watch the halftime show.
I was outside the whole time. I didn't need to see what's-her-face in Horton Hears a Who dress.
Yeah, yeah,
That fucking hair was, no, I don't give a fuck.
yeah. But that's another thing. If I really wanted to see it, I could watch that on YouTube after the game also.
Yeah.
I'll admit there was a couple halftime shows that I did see, but usually it was because it was on while I was at work.
Well, like the one last year, that was the one with Snoop Dogg, 50, Eminem.
Yeah, I missed that one too.
That was fucking great.
Yeah, I heard it was great.
It was really good.
But like Prince did it, his was great.
I don't know.
He did it back when the Bears played the Colts a while ago.
No idea when that was.
That was back, I can't remember what year, but yeah, the Bears lost, so that's not a surprise. And then a few years ago, Katy Perry did one. Hers was actually pretty cool, the way she
I
entered.
remember that one because it was like this. That was the left shark or right shark
Yeah.
debacle.
But then there was Lady Gaga, who actually like did a zip line thing down to the stage. That was cool.
Didn't care.
I'm just saying those are at least something interesting,
Yeah.
not just somebody walking on stage dancing.
Yeah.
You could see somebody do that every day.
And then what, like 2 years ago, was it? That it was like Shakira and...
Yeah, it was actually when the Chiefs won the previous. It was in 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shakira was looking good.
Yeah, no, it was a great show.
Yeah.
Great.
But I watched it because it was Shakira, because she's hot.
Obviously.
Yeah, I mean,
And there's
I have to have my priorities.
something about her just doesn't lie.
Yeah, her hips don't lie.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I had to watch that one. Yeah, and then, but normally I don't care about the halftime show at all.
Yeah.
That's when you go get something to eat. I could even leave and go get something to eat because it's so long. Because you got the show, and then you got the commentators talking about what's going on in the game.
Yeah, it's like a 30, 45-minute halftime,
Yeah.
at least.
I thought it was interesting. So I went to look on, because I didn't know, we couldn't remember which network had the Super Bowl. So I was looking through the channels to see which one on it. And
Just said it, cancel
it listed as, oh shit. But it listed it as 5.5 hours. Like, wow, there's people out there watching this to watch commercials. Watch 5.5 hours or so to watch commercials.
Yeah.
There's YouTube. Learn what YouTube is. Type it in your search engine, whichever one you want to use. You'll be amazed at what's on there if you don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah. Speaking of YouTube, this is the third video episode.
Yes, we will be on YouTube.
YouTube.com/@ some offense intended.
Yes.
If you go to YouTube and search, you're right, Brandon. You don't have to type @
Yes.
But if you're doing youtube.com/, you need the @ symbol.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, if you're just searching for it, you can go into the search in YouTube and you will be able to find it without the @
Yeah, you can just type in some offense intended
Yes.
and find it that way.
Yes.
Like, subscribe, share,
Yes, please.
and yeah. Yeah, so there's been several things that I've thought about and like made notes of. One of them it was super interesting because I've never thought of it like this before. Of it's definitely not going to pass, but there's a bill being put forth right now to cancel all income tax and go to 30% sales tax.
Yes, I like the idea of that.
Across the nation. So, several things. Depending on where you're at, like Nevada is like, what, 8.5, 8.7 something percent? Like California, New York, I'm sure more. Like some places are probably like 4 or 5%. Like it's probably not much. Income tax in Nevada, I would say, like 20 to 28%, depending on like tax brackets and self-employed, whatever. Like 33 max. California, holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like probably between like 30% low end and like 49%.
Yeah.
So if its income tax is 0, like you keep your whole paycheck.
Yeah.
And then you pay 30% sales tax. With food still excluded.
Yes. Yeah, that's an important part.
So if you buy some of these soundproof pads
that
I paid, I don't remember, like $100.
Yeah.
So that'd be $130. Or right around, because I paid like 8%.
But you're going to have more money on your check to be able to afford things like that.
Right. So there's that. And then
there's no IRS, and there's...
Yeah, and part of that was like get rid of the IRS because it's not a thing anymore. Part of the argument against it is kind of the same argument as a lot that goes on of like, well, it's inequitable because like lower income families still get hit with whatever, blah blah blah. I'm like, that's so I'm positive if they went to this, that they would have like a back to school tax break of like during this 3-week period, you wouldn't pay sales tax on pencils, notebooks, yada 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 yada, backpacks.
But the thing is that everybody who purchases anything would be paying some kind of taxes.
Right.
Like you wouldn't have somebody who's, I mean, except for shoplifters. That might be another concern they might have. They might be like, well, shoplifters aren't paying their fair share.
I mean, they're currently not anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, the more I think about it, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't matter what happens, just pay sales tax. Because until like 1913 or 1920 something, we didn't have income tax. We still had like a robust military.
Yes.
We still had everything. And then the IRS was made, and then this and this and that. So, like, all these people are like, oh, well, we have this. Obviously, stuff costs more now than it did then. The cobblestone roads they had and made
still around
are way fucking better than this asphalt garbage that just, there's 18, they finally patched the, like, 10 potholes on the way to my house. Like, I could throw a rock and hit the potholes.
Yeah, I've shown you the picture from a long time ago. They show this road in ancient Rome.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, this is still standing. And then they show it says, add engineers.
I've seen that. It was like this was made like...
This was made a year ago. This was made thousands of years ago, yeah.
Counterpoint. So that's not going to pass.
Yeah.
90% guarantee that's not going to pass.
But I can tell you there's a few government agencies that we could probably do without.
Oh, yeah. But taxes, staying on taxes, I have a surefire way of fixing everything. Tax churches.
Oh, yeah, that would help.
Because this whole thing of, like, when we originally started, like, as a country of, like, separate church and state, made perfect sense. Because, like, when you think of the cartoon Robin Hood of, like, that church in Friar Tuck, of, like, it's a fairly poor church. Like, he's volunteering his time. He's getting nothing from it.
Yeah.
And, like, the donations go to help the poor bucks.
Yeah.
Now, you have Joel Osteen's, you have all these like massive preachers of these mega churches.
Yeah, I was gonna say super, but yeah, mega churches
that have fucking Starbucks, Subways. They have businesses inside of the churches.
Yeah, and I'm sure they get a cut.
And they're still not taxed.
Yeah,
they're tax free. Like I'm not 100% sure if that income is taxable, like as a pastor, secretary, whatever.
Yeah.
But church itself, like as a business, it is.
Yeah, it's a business.
Is not taxed. Like, so if it's a church that is, I don't know how to, like, old timey.
Yeah.
Like the pastor has another job. Like on Sundays he goes and talks.
Yeah.
And like he doesn't pull a paycheck, he doesn't whatever. Like the building itself, there could be a setup of here's all this. Okay. Maybe don't tax that one because they're not making money, but a lot of churches are in the business of making money.
Yeah, like in churches that have priests, the priests don't do anything else but be a priest.
Yeah.
But they also, when they're doing the priest work, a lot of it's doing last rites, and they have to travel out. They have to around town, and I mean, they don't just go and do mass on Sundays. There's actually other work they do.
Yeah.
But they stay, like, there's usually a place near the church that they live at.
The rectory.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
They have a car provided for them and stuff.
Yeah, it has
that's their position.
Like bubble back of it.
Well, not all, but like when I was
referring to the Pope Mobile.
Yeah, I know. But when I was when I went to a private school, there was a car provided for the top priest, the man in charge.
That makes sense.
Then they had the rectory, and then next to the high school that was across the street, they had the convent where all the nuns, or the nunnery.
Nunnery?
Yeah, I just had to say that word. I heard it once. And
it's a habit?
Yeah, it's a habit.
Nice.
Yeah, but imagine all the priests driving around with Pope cars.
Yeah.
Driving on the road one passage, you're like, wait, is that the fucking Pope?
I think that would solve so many.
Oh, yeah.
So many financial issues.
Well, like, there's also, like, evangelists. They should be paying tax. Because they're taking donations, and they're keeping that shit.
Yeah, that's like Joel Osteen is megachurch, but he does a lot of, like, evangelical, like, TV, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's massive amounts. And, like, there's a whole, like, you know, like, tithe 10% of your income and whatever that goes along with a massive amount of religions. But that doesn't, like, there's nothing to hold accountable the side that's receiving it to, like, you what is going on? To use it for good?
Yeah.
To use it for this, to use it for that. So what's the point of doing it? Like, maybe you could go buy shoes for somebody instead of doing that.
Yeah. Well, that was years ago. One of the guys came out on TV and he was like, "Yes, if I don't raise $5.5 million by this time, I'm gonna die." Basically, is what he said. He didn't say I'm gonna die. He said God's gonna bring me home.
Okay.
So I was hoping he wouldn't make it because I wanted to see how he's going to explain how he was still here. But he hit it, and he wanted to build as he said, a prayer tower. Yes.
A what?
A prayer tower. So he could go up to the top of the prayer tower and be closer to God when he prays.
I have several things.
Yeah.
One, if we're going this way, the Tower of Babel was demolished by God because they were trying to reach God with a tower.
Yes.
Per the Bible.
Yeah.
So build a prayer tower because you'll be closer to God.
When praying, make sure he can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
There was another evangelist. Ozzy Osbourne even made a song about it.
I thought you were just going to say there's another evangelist, Ozzy Osbourne. I'm like,
No.
I don't think you know who that is, though.
He made a song about it because this particular evangelist got caught in a sting with the prostitute.
It's still recording. Proud of it.
Yeah, no, I keep glancing over to make sure.
Nice.
But yeah,
He got caught in a sting with a prostitute.
yeah, he got caught, on propositioning a prostitute in a hotel room.
Well, I mean, depending on the situation, Jesus ate with prostitutes and sinners, Mike.
Yes, he did, but he did not take them to hotel rooms and offer money for services.
He might have washed their feet with his hair.
Well, he might have washed their feet. But that's what they did back then. You would go someplace and somebody would wash your feet. That's what they did.
That's weird.
Yes, it is.
Like, I understand. Like, you've got the Jesus sandals on. It's nothing but, like, dirt and dust and, like,
your feet get dirty.
Terrible outside. So, I can understand. Like, it's a sign of respect. Like, you know, let me help you out. And then you just walk outside and it's back
muddy.
Back to trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the washing the feet thing didn't catch on.
Yeah.
I don't like feet. I don't want to touch people's feet.
It's a pretty long rabbit hole from Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, originally separating church and state made sense.
Yeah.
I don't know that it does anymore.
But when they say that, it also has to be like, I think it was in Georgia. They had the 10 Commandments out in front of the courthouse. They had to take it out. Well, that was heavy. That was not an easy move for them. That's the separation. You can still take money from them.
Well, yeah, but I also, like, religious...
Go into a public school and start praying, see what happens.
Like, priests and, like, whatever, religious people that have sway because of their rank, whatever you want to call it, also help influence the government.
So let me ask you this. If we start the Church of Some Offense Intended podcast, do we get to stop paying taxes?
There's several different ways that can happen, but kind of no.
Just checking.
But, yeah, like, the separation of church and state has to go both ways.
Yeah.
Like, the Pope can't be like, oh, well, I need this person in power. Hi. No. That's not going to happen.
Which that just reminded me of something else. This is a whole other rabbit hole. But I remember one day I was watching something, and these people from other countries were like, no, we should be able to vote in your election too because your leaders affect us as a world. I'm like, no, you don't get to vote for our president.
What?
No, we're not going to have people in Europe voting for our president.
No.
Yeah, I couldn't believe I heard somebody say that.
Yeah, that's a massive rabbit hole that I don't want to get too
Yeah,
kooky
but
on.
I just thought that was something to mention.
There's already people that don't need to vote.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So on let's go with, like, having kids. This is regarding, like, IQ testing kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Having kids, voting. Let's go with driving.
Yes.
And can you think of anything else that are, like, similar?
Not off the top of my head. No, I can't think of anything.
So of those three things, so having kids, voting, and driving.
Yeah.
Which ones, if you had to pick one that you could restrict to above a certain IQ level, which would you do?
It's a good question. Probably having kids.
Yeah, because that would kind of filter out the rest after a while.
That reminds me of a commercial I saw recently. It's about people in debt, and this person's like, well, as a single mother in debt, like, well, oh, it's worse for you to be in debt than it is for every fucking other person in the world that don't have kids? Are you kidding me? And another thing, having kids does not make you an exclusive or a special person. Literally billions of people have done it in the past and are still doing it. You're not recreating something. You're not making something new. You're not special because you managed to have a child.
Did you hear about Shark Jesus?
I did not.
So there is I don't know where, don't know when, in the past months, there is an aquarium that has all female sharks, allegedly.
Okay.
And I don't know how many there were, 530 something.
Yeah.
All female sharks.
Okay.
One of them just gave birth.
Wow. Well done.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that some animals, when there's too many of one sex, some will, but it's usually frogs. I've never heard it with sharks, but
And to quote, what's his character's name? Jurassic Park.
oh,
It's Jeff Goldblum, but I don't
Yeah.
remember.
I can't remember his character.
Ian. It's life.
Finds a way.
Life finds a way.
Yeah, it's painful to listen to him talk. Fuck.
But
That's half the fucking movie is him saying a sentence. Well, there you have it.
I enjoy it a lot. Have you seen the people that like do impressions of him? To him?
No.
It's fantastic. They're like, I can't do it. I've never tried to do like a full Jeff Goldblum impression,
Yeah.
but like these guys nail it. And he's like, oh, and like that's really good.
I see, but when I was actually watching Jurassic Park the first time I saw it, and they were talking about all of them being female, and then they found the eggs, I'm like, they must have used frog DNA in there somewhere.
Yeah, they even said they did.
But when I thought of it, they hadn't said that yet. So I was ahead of them.
The biggest issue I had.
But those scientists should have known that certain species of frog do that.
So
maybe keep that out of there.
Here's the thing about scientists, and I'm going to group engineers in with this part.
Oh, yeah.
They're better than you, and they know it.
And they think they know it. But,
So, like, you're just wrong.
no, I'm always right.
So, yeah. But the biggest part I had an issue with in Jurassic Park was when they were around that table eating that dinner, and the lawyer from New York goes, we'll have like a coupon day or something.
Yeah.
Coupon? You'll have a coupon? Coupon.
Yeah, coupon.
Coupon day.
Yeah, I can't see there being big coupons because, I mean, they have to take you to an island.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, that doesn't seem feasible.
Well, I mean, like you could have certain flight days or like whatever. Yeah. Just like now, flights can be like $30 or they can be $300, $3,000.
But unless I can actually ride the dinosaurs, what's the point?
Ooh, update on flights. I got my passport.
Nice.
It was almost 3 weeks to the day from when I submitted the application.
Perfect.
And expedited both sides, sending it and receiving it. Then I actually got it 3 weeks.
Now you don't have to, smuggle yourself into a country.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Now I don't have to copy a Tom Hanks movie called Terminal.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll live at an airport.
Yeah.
I've never actually seen that movie, but I've heard a lot about it.
I have not either, but I know what it's about.
Yeah, me too.
Like he loses his passport at the airport or something, and like has to live in the terminal for like.
He's there for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard about people being found living in different places that were there for quite a while before somebody figured it out.
Normally, people aren't observant, so you can get away with a lot if you know how to.
Yeah, I was telling somebody about the jokes we used to make about me living in a studio apartment above the building.
Yeah.
And when I was working a lot of overtime, I was like, yeah, you just see me walk down there on the one day a week I don't work, in a robe, going over to get some food.
Yep. Yeah, there's supposed to be a lot of, not residential, but like apartment style condos, something going up soon.
Yeah.
For the people that like don't have to, I don't know. But it's been approved, but nobody's like grabbed contracts. So we'll see.
You would think they would. I mean, there's money in their contracts.
Yeah, but it's a weird spot right now.
Yeah. I'm surprised there's no planned like communities for certain places here.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of houses built there, sold to the employees of the different companies.
You'd think there might be, but I feel like that all has to do with like the real estate commission of like redlining there's all kinds of different laws.
Yeah. But I've heard of other places doing it.
Where?
I don't recall exactly where, but I've heard of different companies doing something like that. And it wasn't just in The Simpsons, it was in real life.
Well, like, they can have, like, you get certain deals, or like, hey, here's these apartments. They're normally going for like $2,000.
Yeah.
We'll give them to you for $1,650 for being an employee of XYZ.
Yeah.
Like, I can see that, because that's
But
technically.
I'm talking about like a neighborhood where it's built and planned by the people that own this company, and then the people live in those houses that work at that place.
That's where it would get kind of sketchy, though, is like.
Yeah, because you lose your job, then what? Then you're homeless too?
Well, yeah, but like, say Company A makes Neighborhood A.
Yeah.
So you work for Company A, you buy a house in Neighborhood A through whatever that program is. So say you get fired. What happens? Can you still live there? You bought the house.
Yeah.
So what happens then? Or, like, say Company A does Neighborhood A, and only 5 people buy houses there.
Yeah.
Now there's another 50 houses they're just hemorrhaging money.
And then they'll have to fill them with something.
Yeah, they have to put somebody in them.
Yeah, like if, let's say Coca-Cola does something like that near their plant in Georgia, and somebody quits working Coca-Cola and starts working for Pepsi, are they going to keep working there?
Yeah, like, do they just paint their house blue instead of red? Like, what's going on?
Yeah. Put the Pepsi logo on the roof.
Yeah.
Really piss people off. I've actually heard that people who work for Coke are not allowed to be seen drinking Pepsi, at least while they're working.
Oh, I mean, at work, that's, I think, a reasonable ask.
Yeah, if you're actually in a Coca-Cola uniform.
If you're at a Coca-Cola factory in a Coca-Cola uniform making Coca-Cola.
But I'm saying, like, the delivery driver, if you're driving Coca-Cola someplace and delivering it, maybe don't be drinking a Pepsi while you're doing it.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can drink it, but have it in, like, a big gulp.
Yeah. Something that doesn't say what it is.
Yeah, have it in, like, a coffee mug. Have it in something that is just like, oh, yeah, he's got something to drink.
Yeah. Could be water.
Maybe don't, like, driving a red truck, just sitting here, driving a red truck, and you just massive blue can just. I'm like, yeah. Oh, this guy hates his life.
Especially since they can probably get free Coca-Cola if they're working for them.
Yeah, you'd think so.
I drink Dr. Pepper, so I couldn't work for either of them, apparently.
We know. That's what do you.
Like I said, they don't pay me, so I don't need to.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I don't need to put the label towards it.
Okay. If you want the label shown, get a hold of us.
Yeah. Sponsor us, and I'll start wearing Dr. Pepper shirts. Fuck.
Yeah. No, so the first video episode on YouTube, I think last time I looked was like 15 views.
Yeah.
Something. And still had about the average on like Spotify and all the other podcast things. So
that's good.
That's
we don't want to lose any on one to gain on another.
Yeah, I was curious. Like, if
I was wondering about that too.
On YouTube, we got like they all moved to YouTube, or they all moved to this, or no. And I found a video editing software that I need to look at to start making clips for like YouTube Shorts, Facebook Reels, all that, because Riverside, I talked to them. They said they're going to forward it to the features and design team.
Yeah, but that'll take a while.
Well, maybe. It's a simple ask. It really
I know,
is.
but
So
it's a simple ask. But you know how many people they have working on doing things like that?
probably 2.
They all have to discuss. Well, even 2. They have to. No, I don't like that idea. We have to do my idea.
So if you're watching this on video, I basically, like, the idea I had is, like, you can edit it on their website of, like, put it to, like, the Facebook, instead of being 16:9, so like YouTube is 16:9, you do it, like, what is it, 4:3 or something?
Yeah.
Of, like, how the Facebook, like, to where in the middle, so you click, I want it to go on Facebook.
Yeah.
And it just slams the screen right to the middle.
Yeah.
You can't adjust
Can't see either of us.
You can't adjust it to my side. You can't adjust it to Mike's side. It just goes right in the middle where neither of us are. And you can't drag it across the video. So,
and that's not helpful.
yeah. So
We wouldn't be able to put it on Instagram, Facebook, pretty much anything.
yeah. So they're like, yeah, we'll forward it to the design team. And I'll see. I'll probably message them again this week to see, like, hey, what's going on with that? Because it's moving a frame.
Well, either somebody's working on it, or they're like, yeah, we're gonna bring that up, and they're just not really bringing it up. It's one of those two.
Exactly. So I'll message them again, and by their response, I'll be able to tell.
Yeah.
But I did find, either way, I did find another video editing software that I'll mess around with to see making clips.
And I'll say, thank you so much for the recommendation. We're on it.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not.
I should talk to him and be like, since I recommended this and it's going to be such a hot thing, because one of the reasons they do it like that is the website you can use. So, like, say I'm going to London in like 2-3 weeks and Mike is not. So, to do the podcast, I can still technically pull it up on my phone, have it record, and Mike has his phone record, and then we have my face, his face, and we can combine the two and have them like switch back and forth.
Yeah.
And do it that way. So how the editing software is supposed to work is, okay, well, you have your face on an upright, so that's the one that you grab for the Facebook reel.
Mm-hmm.
But using a webcam, the full shoot a room isn't what they had in mind when they originally made software.
Yeah.
So,
well, they should have thought of that.
yeah, honestly, they should have.
Yeah. I would have thought of that.
I did.
I know.
Yeah, so, and that's, I think, either tonight after Mike leaves or tomorrow, I'm going to start another recording session.
Yeah.
And join it with my phone and then Mike's phone, and we'll see how the recording, how the voice is, how the video is, because instead of having the microphones, of just using phone, video, and microphone to see quality. Because if that's the case, I don't have an issue setting aside like an hour, hour and a half, whatever, when I'm in London to do a podcast. All I have to do is find a room, quiet.
Well, how long are you going to be in London?
10 days?
10 days. I mean, if worse comes to worse, we can always do a couple episodes and be ready, and just...
Yeah. Yeah, but if the video and audio quality is great, doing just phone to phone,
yeah,
Riverside, I have no issue doing that.
Yeah. We'll just have to work out a time because they're slightly different time zones.
Yeah.
Just a little.
And I think they're 8 hours ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if I need to get the stupid little fucking microphones that you see everybody use, it's a perfect segue into something else I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
You've seen the people like doing the interviews and stuff on Facebook and whatever, and they have like the little microphone they hold that has like the massive Pomeranian poof ball on top.
Yeah, I've seen those.
So like, but the audio quality is great.
Yeah.
So I might look into those, see how much they are. That leads me into, just because of social videos, you know what a duet is?
No.
So a duet video is like TikTok. So say Joe makes a video. You like this video.
You splice them together.
And you say, yeah, you splice them together so that your face is right next to Joe's video.
Yeah.
And it's a new pet peeve, apparently.
A lot of those stupid reaction videos are done like that.
Yeah.
Where they just make face expressions. Are you even watching it? No.
Yeah, one of my new pet peeves is duet videos where you might have to watch the video of this episode to see what I'm doing, but you'll have Joe talking about whatever he's talking about. Like, Let's say he's talking about a football game.
Yeah.
Or, like, here's what happened, and he's just showing a video and talking a little bit over it. And then the person that duets it just sits there, nodding his head.
Oh.
Pointing. Not even making noise.
Yeah.
Just nodding his head. And, like, just pointing. And, like sometimes they have a microphone and they'll, like, hold it over to the side. Like it's Like they're giving the microphone to the other video.
Yeah.
And then like, yeah.
Yeah, because they can do standard. It's like they just did one video of themselves doing this, and then they can put it with anything because they don't have to, because they're not actually having to react to what's going on in the video next to them.
Yeah, and I understand. Like, okay, they allowed the duetting because you can turn that off. They allowed the duetting of that video or stitching, whatever the fuck they call it. And now you have a piece of content to upload to your account.
That took you no effort.
Like sometimes I've seen some that actually like put effort into it and like talk about it or like whatever. That took you no effort. And now you're just trying to grab views from them, which don't knock your hustle. I understand that.
No, I don't. Yeah.
Like you do you, good for you. Fucking contribute.
Say something. Don't just have a standard stock reaction of you just pointing, giving a thumbs up or whatever you're doing to put on everybody's video.
Even if it's something like, here's the video and it's doing whatever, because you can pause the duet video and you can still talk. So like, say they say something fucking stupid, but the video is great. So the video's going, blah, 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 and you're just sitting here like, ha, and then they say something dumb. You pause it. Be like, yeah, except for that part, like, probably not that. Don't do that.
Yeah, like I was watching a TikTok video.
Play it again.
And it's got, the guy who has the hard hat, he's at the construction site, and he's having a conversation with his boss.
That dude's videos are fucking
They're
hilarious.
awesome. I absolutely love them. But I don't want to put a video of me just going.
You're talking about the guy that does like he does the filters, and he's like the old guy too, and he's the
yeah. This last one I saw that he was digging. He's like, yeah, we found these unknown trees and these roots, and I think there's gonna be some black cars coming up because once we cut these roots, we had no cell service and the power went off near us. So I don't think I'm paraphrasing, but yeah, you see, now that was really good. Yeah, I love those videos.
He's great, especially like the pre-shift meeting.
Yeah,
ones that he has.
Oh, those are great.
The superintendent's like, I need to talk to you guys. And the old guy's like, I'm not fucking talking.
Yes. Nobody wants to mess with the old guy.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just fucking trying to do my job and go home to my wife and just fucking get yelled at. You know what I mean?
He's like, I could do that, but I like when he's talking about working past the end of the shift.
Yeah.
Like, I could do that, but I'm not clocking out early and still doing it.
Yeah.
Which I get that. I wouldn't either.
You'd be surprised how many people do that.
Yeah.
Oh, don't worry. To quote the Three Amigos, I would like to continue to work for free, Mr. Flugelman.
Yeah. I've actually worked at places where if you do work off the clock, you can get in trouble.
You can get fired. I would say anywhere in Nevada for sure.
Yeah.
But because of labor laws, it's a thing to have to do with working.
Yes.
And then paying you for working, unless you're a 1099, like certain different types of contractors or whatever. But like if you're a punch in, punch out,
yeah,
I'm fairly positive it's 100% illegal to do that.
Well, there's also things in this state, like if you work for, actually not just this state, but this country, if you're like when I used to wait tables, if I got hurt on the job, say standing on a ladder changing a light bulb, OSHA could be like, okay, why was he on a ladder? He's a food server. Food servers don't need to climb ladders to serve food or change light bulbs.
Yeah.
So that could get you in trouble too.
And depending on, and this is a gray area, I don't know the laws on this one, but depending on like your job agreement, if you're union or not,
yeah,
maybe scope of duty, but it basically, because like when you punch in, punch out, like you're 100% covered under workman's comp, depending on the company if they have it.
Yeah,
you're covered under that. Some companies are like to work and from work.
Yeah.
Because it's upon them to make sure that you get home safe. Not just punch out and fucking leave safe. Like, you get home safe.
Yeah.
So, like, that's depending on what, that can have a lot to do with it, too.
I worked at a place, I worked at a grocery store a long time ago, and I'd take groceries out to people's cars. And we were covered by insurance as long as we stayed in the parking lot. Once we took the groceries out of the parking lot, we weren't covered anymore. We were not allowed to leave that parking lot.
That makes sense.
And somebody I used to carry his groceries out for him, he didn't have a car. He lived in apartments behind it. I'm like, listen, I can take you to the end of the parking lot, but I can't take the cart.
Yeah.
And besides, he was going, I mean, the stairs and shit he was going up, I'm not pulling a fucking shopping cart up those stairs.
Yeah. And
He used to always offer me a cigarette as I was carrying his stuff out to him.
I mean,
He looked just like Saddam.
a good example, when I worked at Best Buy, you were required to punch out for lunch, like, because you just get an unpaid lunch.
Yeah.
But if you were going to leave the property to go get lunch, you have to punch out for lunch.
Yeah.
There was a guy that didn't punch out, crossed the street, got hit, and then was in the hospital, still on the clock because the company's not allowed to clock him out.
Yeah.
And then it ended up being like a big fucking thing because he got hit while on the clock because he didn't punch out for lunch. Several things.
Yeah.
You could probably order it and have it delivered.
Yeah.
If you're gonna, which I've done several times, of like punch out, run across, do whatever, get food, come back. Either be better at Frogger or use a crosswalk.
Yeah. I'd probably say the crosswalk because he's not going to get better at Frogger.
Well, and it was on Sunset and Marks in Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a pretty busy street.
Crosswalk would be your better bet.
Yeah.
See, I had a job over not far from there, and we got scheduled for 9 hours a day, so that we'd have an hour lunch break.
You got an hour lunch break?
Hour lunch break. Because we got scheduled for 9, so we still got our 8 hours for the day.
I only ever got 30s.
So I got an hour, and I could leave and go eat something. It was off the clock, so we clock out, and I could go eat, and come back to work.
That's plenty of time.
Oh yeah.
Like 30 minutes sometimes would be rushed.
And there's plenty of food near there.
Yeah.
I used to go to Cafe Rio a lot and get me some chicken tacos for lunch.
We always used to go across to L&L.
Yeah. It was down the street from me to go to Cafe Rio, but I liked their tacos, so it was worth it. Yeah, I like that setup.
Yeah, it's not horrible.
And then I went from 8 until 5. And I usually had my lunch around 2. I'll come back. Only a couple hours left. It was great.
That's nice. Sometimes it's nice taking breaks later in the day because it makes it feel like it goes faster.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's excruciating to get to those breaks. So recently I've just been, I don't know, like semi early.
Yeah.
And then start going later. I don't know.
Too bad at that particular job we had a store inside that sold snacks and stuff. So I could just run inside, grab something, and come back out if I needed a snack before the breaks.
That'd be cool.
Plus every Saturday they fed us, which was great because at like 11:30 in the afternoon we'd go upstairs, eat some food, go back to work, or bring the food down to go back to work, and then at 2 o'clock, I'd still have my hour break.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Of course, when I had the hour break on Saturdays, I really didn't have to go someplace to get something because they already fed me. There's some good food, too.
So I thought of something else that I wanted to talk about. And this is definitely up your alley.
All right.
I saw this video of a gender reveal.
All right.
That's unlike anything I've ever seen. So
Did they burn down their house or anything? Because I've seen that happen.
No, it's not California. So, well, it might have been, but not like their style. So they have like the family and friends like all surrounding.
Yeah.
And they have 2 guys in a wrestling match. One's got a pink unitard. And
Right.
One's got a blue unitard. and they're just like wrestling back and forth
I like it.
of like whoever wins, that's the one.
That's awesome.
That's the gender is going to be. So like, I think it was like a 2.5, 3 minute video, and it ended up being a boy. But like, it was a constant like back and forth of like, oh, like I think it's going to be this because like they're doing like just whatever wrestling moves, and
I hope somebody used a steel chair. If they didn't, then they dropped an opportunity.
They definitely threw somebody through a table.
Nice.
That was one of the finishing moves.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, that's one of the most creative, like, that's fucking great gender reveal ideas that I've seen.
Yeah, it used to be, though, that before the gender reveal parties, it used to just be, yeah, I'm having a kid. It's going to be,
yeah.
And they would just say it.
Yeah.
Now people have to cut into a cake and see what color cake there is, or they have to
start
a wildfire, you know. I mean,
yeah. Like, where do you draw the line? Like, because I understand, like, being excited about it. Like, I want kids. I don't know which I would rather have. Like, I'm not only going to have one, so there's the answer there. Like, I would like to have sons and daughters.
Yeah, they won't let me sell them on Amazon, so I don't want any.
But, like, where do you draw the line on, like, engagement of a gender reveal party?
I don't know.
Because, like, you see the ones that's like, oh, I'm a big baseball fan, so I'm going to have a friend throw me this baseball, and I'm going to hit it, and it's going to, like, powder dust
It's gonna
a
be,
certain color. And then it gets better because this fucking guy misses, and it hits the catcher's mitt and explodes.
Yeah. Or how about, I just came up with the best idea ever. Get you know how they have those cakes where people jump out of the cake?
Yeah.
What you do is you have a cake, you have a little person in the cake, and it's going to be a stripper, first of all. So
The cake or the little person?
the little person.
Okay.
So when they pop out, half the people are going to be happy and the other half aren't. It's going to either be a male or a female stripper popping out.
Already stripped.
Yeah, already stripped, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just trying to follow along.
Yeah, just you know, because some people will be happy and they'll be like, oh, wow.
So are we talking like a real cake or like a cardboard cake?
Like a cardboard thing that looks like it's been decorated like a real cake.
Okay, that's
what
fine.
they usually do.
That would be way cheaper.
Yeah. But, you know, like if it's the boy, you'll hear people going, wow, he may be short, but he's big.
But that's so I like the burnout ones. Like you can get tires coated in, or like either the rubber's made of something specific, or there's a coating on it. So like when you start doing a burnout, it'll put off either a blue or a pink cloud.
Yeah, I do like that too.
And I've seen a couple of those from my buddies in Vegas that I used to ride with, of doing burnouts on their bike that have like certain colors. Or I've seen some of like drag cars that just lighten up the tires and you see whatever cloud coming off.
Yeah.
Those are fucking cool.
See, it's funny because when I play Grand Theft Auto 5, when I customize my cars and, you know, do one of the things I add is the tires to smoke a certain color. I always pick orange though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's not for gender reveal.
That could be a 2023 gender.
I was going to say,
Orange could stand for something.
I was going to say, are they going to have to stop gender reveal parties and wait until the person gets to the age when they're comfortable with which gender?
I don't want to have that conversation.
It's a valid question.
That's the nicest way to put that I can think of at all.
Yeah.
Not going to go there.
Yeah.
There's a reason, like, go buy this shirt and see what the options are. There's this many. There's this many options.
Oh, there's so many now.
Not if you buy shirts.
Yeah, that's true.
Even shirts that say there's, 23?
Mm-hmm.
You know how many options there are for that shirt?
2.
This many's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought it'd be interesting, you know, person turns 18, they're like, all right, now we're going to have the gender reveal party.
Yeah, like I can see like an ironic thing starting to happen soon
Oh, yeah.
regarding that. But yeah, no. One of the other things I want to talk about was there was apparently some like massive sun like particle ejection on January 20th
That's always fun.
or around there.
Yeah.
And if it had hit the earth, like it'd have been done.
Yeah.
Like done. But so apparently it missed us. Obviously, we're still here.
Okay, I'm glad you let me know. I was concerned.
There's people that are like, oh well, that solar ejection is why apparently the ice caps are even worse shape now or something. I don't know. But they're like, that ejection is what melted like all of this one this time.
Oh. So it wasn't me.
No.
I wasn't outside spraying aerosol cans and causing this to happen.
No. And there was, to go along with what you just said, there was a volcano, I don't remember where it was, but it started like spouting off.
Yeah.
Like not erupting, but spouting. And it's released more CO2 into the atmosphere since it started, like this, whenever it started happening, like a week ago, a month ago, whatever.
Yeah, they put a crazy amount.
It put more CO2 in the atmosphere than humans have in the last 1,000 years.
Yeah.
But it's our fault.
Oh, yeah, it's my fault.
And the Earth isn't in cycles. It's not like it goes cold, warm, hot, warm, cold, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
It's not cycles. It's our fault for CO2.
Well, that's part of the reason I eat so much ground beef and steak and stuff is because
if the cows are overpopulated, they're gonna.
their farts are going to get rid of our ozone.
They're gonna increase the methane. They're fucking mouth breathers.
Yeah.
It's just CO2 all over the place.
Yeah, so I'm helping out. When
I agree.
I go have a cheeseburger, I am saving the planet.
I'll have 2.
Me too. Yeah, I could really go for a cheeseburger right now. And we're at about, what is that, 58 minutes now? Almost 59?
57.
57? All right.
And it's still recording.
That's a good thing. Yeah, we're not looking at trees.
Yeah, now we know the settings we have to do.
I didn't want to jinx it, turn it into a tree.
Well, there's the 2 camera options are like camera raw, so it doesn't have any of the settings, and the camera plus, and that's the one that uses the settings that I set.
Yeah.
So
we were on plus when it turned into trees a couple times.
Yeah, the 2 times it turned into fucking trees, it was the plus. And the last 2 weeks, obviously, we were using raw.
Yeah.
So
yeah, plus is supposed to be better. That's why they put the plus there.
Well, it's so you can change all the settings and then fucking go.
Yeah.
So as long as it can.
Hopefully it saved the settings so we don't have to go through this again next week.
No, I mean it doesn't use the settings because that's why you can see this curtain right here, and it doesn't just cut off right around here where the fucking Death Star is.
Where it used to.
Yeah. So I'll see if I can just crop the whole fucking video once it's done, but it might have to be this whole expanded frame. And we might just have to move the camera closer if we can. Because I also did switch back to the original cable and not the long cable.
All right.
So I don't know if that had an issue with it either.
We could always look for some kind of Star Wars thing we could stick up there and instead of the curtain.
Yeah. Or I can just get a camera.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
I like the Star Wars idea.
Well, I mean, I have plenty of shit. Grab that.
What? Grab that.
There's a Mandalorian canvas that I got when I was in Vegas.
Which reminds me,
I did find somewhere to put that.
I did just see a commercial today. Season 3 of The Mandalorian is coming soon.
Yeah.
I think it's in March.
I hope they stop doing PC fucking bullshit.
I hope they just try to entertain us.
I am so upset with how Obi-Wan went and Andor.
I was entertained. I liked Obi-Wan until it ended and then they left a bunch of shit open.
They were okay, but like Boba Fett, disappointing. Obi-Wan, disappointing. Andor, enjoyable, but I feel like they're just nonstop. Like, how can we, like, if you write out a dope story and then take out all the cool shit, that's what they went with.
Well, but they have to make sure not to hurt anybody's feelings.
Fuck that.
Yeah. We're friendly. We want everybody to like us.
Yeah, well...
But no matter how much you do it, no, not everybody's going to like it.
No, exactly. So all you're doing is compromising for no fucking reason.
Compromising your vision.
For no fucking reason.
Yeah.
I don't know if Disney has a fucking vision anyway.
I don't know. No, they do. It's they have a vision for making money. They're very good at that.
Yeah, and there's people paying non-fucking stop, no matter what they do.
Which in October, I plan to go to Disneyland for my first time ever. Can't wait.
I've never been. Disneyland or World.
I've never been either, but I plan to go.
You don't know why I've never been?
Why?
Love you, Mom. So, my parents used to take us kids to Disneyland and Disney World.
Okay.
Took my older brother and older sister. But 3 kids is too many to watch while you're there. So they stopped when I was born.
See, for me,
which I get, it makes sense, and we were fucking wild. So,
well, for me, when I was growing up, we lived in the Midwest. Okay, so there was 4 kids, and traveling from Omaha by car to say Anaheim with 4 kids, that's not good.
Well,
I mean,
that makes sense too, because
and also flying all of the kids.
Because I lived in Lincoln for a while. I think it was Lincoln, near Offutt.
That's Omaha.
Is it Omaha?
Yeah.
I lived in Omaha also.
Now, Offutt used to be huge.
So that's a massively understandable reason.
Yeah.
And then we lived in the south near Florida. There's one of them Disney parks there.
Yeah.
And then we lived in Vegas. That's pretty near the other one.
See, we could go to Kansas City and we'd go to a place called Worlds of Fun. That was an amusement park. So that's where we went when we went to one of those.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. But they had a really good roller coaster I like there, metal one, and went upside down and did all that shit. And then they probably changed the name of it, but then there was one in Iowa in Des Moines called Adventureland.
I've heard of that one.
They had a big roller coaster, a big wooden roller coaster called the Tornado, and they had a bunch of rides. So that's where they took us.
I might have just heard of it because of the movie.
Because
I've heard of that one.
Because it's a lot closer to Omaha to drive to Kansas City than it is to go to Florida or California.
Extremely.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't mind going, but I think I want to go to Six Flags again soon because it's been a while.
I've never been to Six Flags.
Been on roller coasters.
But yeah, there's a group of us from work. We're all going to go. We all got it planned.
Nice.
And I'm excited because I'm going to get me a picture with Mickey Mouse. Might even get myself some Mickey Mouse ears.
Aw.
Yeah. I'm not going to react like Snoop Dogg, but I understand why he reacted when he saw different characters there. But now we are at 1 hour and 3 minutes.
And it recorded the video, the
whole thing.
Assumingly.
We're hoping.
So.
Because we see ourselves, though, so yeah.
Yeah. Give us a follow and a share. Facebook and Instagram at Some Offense Intended. YouTube.com/ @Some Offense Intended. You got to use the @ symbol or just search it.
Yeah.
And Twitter, Some Offense Pod.
You can always like it and click the notifications, so when we put one out, you'll have it right away.
Yeah. And I'll be working on checking out this video software to see if I can start making clips so we can start sharing clips to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of it.
Yes.
All right. See you next week. Goodbye.